like to call the Claymont City School Board of Education regular meeting for Monday, September 8th to order. Roll call, please.
Ms. Campbell? Here. Mrs. Grandison? Here. Mrs. Host?
Here.
Mr. Peters?
Here.
Mrs. Wolf?
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the Claymont City School District vision is to provide each student an opportunity for a lifetime of success. Our mission is to create an environment that nurtures, develops, and empowers each student. Our next meeting will be October 13th at 6 p.m. here at the administrative office. We do have one addendum to the agenda under superintendent's recommendations. We are pulling item G. So I need a motion to do that, please.
Motion.
Saul, Martha. Any discussion on that? Anybody?
G.
It's because of credentialing. We haven't received all the paperwork yet. Item G under superintendent. We're pulling that. That's okay. Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Ms. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Grandison?
Yes.
Mrs. Host?
Yes.
And Mrs. Wolf?
Yes. Okay, I need a motion and a second to approve the meeting agenda.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Martha and Lois. Roll call.
Ms. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Grandison?
Yes.
Mrs. Host?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. Wolf?
Yes. Okay. Commendation, superintendent.
We have the Freeport Church of the Rock had donated some items for students. Yerkesville Eagles had a $4,000 donation to the high school. One I would like is not there. I missed on Convocation Day because you have your seniorities for who's been in the district on the classified and who's been on this in the certified staff, but administrative staff has a different list. So Mrs. Barnhart has been in the district 30 years. So I want to bring her up, present her award. We can segue into your discussion with Mrs. Dawes.
I just wanted to highlight Mrs. Dotz because a couple reasons. One, I really admire teachers that keep pushing and learning and trying to bring new things into their classroom. And Mrs. Dotz has almost been here 30 years, not quite. But this summer, she applied last spring to a Moose Watch program. And this is on Isle Royale in Lake Superior. And if you're not familiar with it, as a biology teacher, I was super excited because it is one of the oldest studies of predator-prey relationships in the world. Scientists have been studying it for decades. So she applied to this program and she was accepted, and she spent a week on Isle Royale this summer in the backcountry, backpacking and canoeing and looking for moose bones and all kinds of things. And she's written that article, and I shared it with you. I'm not sure if I wasn't sure if the link, we were having trouble with the link, so I wasn't sure if you were able to get the link or not, but she wrote that article then about it. I think I have it. I shared it there too.
No, it's one of those PDFs. PDF.
That one there, yeah. So, there's pictures of her on what she was able to do this summer, and I just thought that was a really neat thing for an English teacher to do, and then she's incorporating it into her classroom. So I thought that was really kind of neat. You'll have to, she could tell you all about it, but the article there says a lot about what she did. But I think she told me that it was really a life-changing experience. I'm a little bit jealous. I also applied, and they didn't want a principal, so. Maybe when I retire someday, I can say retired biology teacher and they'll take me, because I think that would have been awesome to be able to go. But anyway, I just wanted to highlight her because she's always pushing forward and really doing some wonderful things for our students. So I thought that was a neat thing for her to do. So, yeah.
Well, piggyback on that, right?
Yeah.
Because I had written it on my
Yeah.
notes as well, because I read that article
Yeah.
that she wrote, this narrative, and it's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm sitting here reading it like, this is really interesting, like, you know,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if
absolutely.
I could go 7 days without a shower, but I'm sure that was the first thing you did when you got back. I read that part with your friends and that reconnection there, so you are a great asset to Claymont City School District, and I'm glad you got to do that and enjoy that, and thank you for all that you do. We appreciate it. Do you have any other comments?
Oh, yeah, thank you. Had an email from Mandy Whitman, and she wanted to recognize the 7th grade ELA class for their Random Acts of Kindness project. That's led by Mrs. Tulak at the middle school. They've decorated lockers, given gifts to families, and provided well packages for ill staff members. So I'm passing that along. Within that, it does have some pictures of the students and some of the projects that they have done. But that is Mrs. Tulak with her group for the 7th grade ELA for the Random Act of Kindness. But that's important and you can't forget, to serve others. So that's for them to be able to do that and instilling and starting that at a younger age, that they'll continue hopefully as an adult as well.
Thank you for that. We had one request for public participation this evening. Greg DiDonato, the floor is yours. You will have 5 minutes.
No problem. I plan to be brief, but I just wanted to make sure. First of all, I want to congratulate and thank all the school board members. Believe me, it's on an appreciative job today to serve anybody. I laugh and tell everybody, anybody wants to do my job, I'd be glad to have it do it tomorrow, because there's really no money in it. It costs us more money than anything by giving it away. So I do want to thank your service. I also want to thank everybody, the teachers, our educators, our administrators. I've worked with many of you through the years, and I've always enjoyed working with the staff at Claymont. So we're greatly appreciated. I want, number one, to quickly bring up, I want to disclose a couple of things. One, the closing of the potential of school building is not a Dennis and Eurexville thing in my heart. I spent a lifetime in preservation of our history in this community. I spent a lifetime of raising up the things that matter. Just look around. I'm still working on it. Raised $12,000 for the church to put new windows on top of the mace where Timmy's is, so we can make it look right and uniform. The point I'm trying to say is that building across the street is not about Dennis and Eurexville. In that case, that building is about the symbol of who we are. I made the comment, I know Cindy was there, Wrench was there, Beck was there. I said, you know what the uniqueness is whenever you go to Ohio State, Ohio University, Akron U, Youngstown, you know what makes the beauty of those campuses? Not because they have all modern new buildings there. They don't tear things down in those things. They recognize the beauty of the architect of what they have, and they build upon that, they maintain them. Just like we're doing with the city building. We've had to spend a lot of money in the last few years, but I can't get that building, we build a new building today, what we have. So, but I wanted to bring the history up. You three will be the first person in a long time that will serve 2 consecutive terms for Claymont. Part of the problem with this district, no continuity, no memory, no institutional, no planning. What is the future? I'm not saying we're doing it, but if you look, we haven't had anybody serve 2 terms in a row for quite a while. That's a fact. Pulled it all out this morning, refreshed my memory. Who did serve? But I wanted to give you the history, because I know, Martha, you were on chair of the committee. I know the superintendent played. We had public hearing. I know, Michelle, you were running. We had many conversations. And Lois, you were running. We had many conversations. I know, Cindy, you were running. I can't say we had conversations. But my point I'm going to say to you, 5 years ago, we came to the voters. We asked them for a $5 million levy. We told everybody, here's the argument I got. We can't rewrite 5 years ago. We told everybody that the purpose of that $5 million levy was to fix our school buildings up, to do the stadium in 3 phases. Of course, part of fixing the school buildings up with school buses and everything. It's all spelled out. You gave an interview time before. There's a copy of it. Okay? There's also comments. There's also the 2 things that we handed out. I was on the committee that handed out the flyers. I publicly supported it. So did the village council publicly support that levy. We went to some of those hearings that you showed the public what you plan to do with each one of those buildings. Now, Basically, 12 months later, we announced the closing of Park School. But Park School was one of the schools that they featured on the flyer. We told the people the money was going to go to fix the school. You got votes for that, but you won't get votes now. I can tell you those 2 members that got defeated 4 years ago badly that were incumbents. It's one of the reasons why they got defeated. I was one of them who didn't vote for those 2 for a sole purpose of that. And so did many others. So I'm pointing out now the second bill we're talking about closing is on this brochure too that we told everybody that we were going to fix up. And my point to you, I'm just going to say, I spent a lifetime raising money for causes, charities, pushing levies too. We've not really had to have many endowments. We really bought it. I think we passed the last 20 years at $2 million for street levies. But word matters. Honesty matters. Integrity matters. And what we said is not at all. I realize you got 4 mills for inside millage, the very thing the state's talking about peeling back, a coalition's talking about repealing. And I know because of that little extra money, you're looking at the avenue of adding on to a building, but you also could fix these old buildings that you promised all of us to do. I called the State Board of Education. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm upset. I got lied. I got played. We didn't play a lot of things that we told people. But we need to understand that's part of the frustration of this community. And I said that day, a lot of us people are spinning our heads out here. We're shifting kids, we're moving kids, we're changing the game plan every day. We're rolling through administrators, rolling through coaches. We can't keep kids, we got them leaving our district. How do you think what you're proposing is really going to help the morale of this district? I've heard from your teachers, I've heard from your coaches, I've heard, not coaches, your school cooks, I've heard from employees from school, hundreds who are so upset about it. But I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm just going to say one other thing. It'll be the first time in my life, and I've already called the Secretary of State, I've already talked before election, we will get a petition if you're not going to give the people saying this, because we didn't vote for this. We have to get 10% of the people voted on last governor's election. If you want to risk that $5 million levy, go right ahead. And I will tell you, you will lose. It will be repealed by 65% of the voters if you're not reading the voters.
Thank you, Mr. DiDonato.
Thank you.
Administrative reports. I know we received them from everybody. I did have one question, Braden. In your update, you referenced tree removal at the middle school because it's dead and rotting from the inside out.
Yes.
So I was just wondering if that's been scheduled or it's just on the horizon and you're just giving us a heads up.
I'm giving the heads up.
Okay.
I haven't had someone come out to give a quote on that yet. The tree doesn't seem to be as difficult as the ones from Eastport, so I
Okay.
would expect a relatively lower cost.
Okay.
But no, I don't have that scheduled at this
Okay,
time.
thank you. I saw that and I just wanted to make sure that I talked about that. Does anybody else have anything they want to add to their reports? No? Okay. Board discussion items, new business, is there anything?
I just want to touch upon a couple of things that have been brought up as far as the safety forces at our stadium for our games. We work with, because it's in Yorksville, the fire department and the police department are offered to be able to patrol versus with the police and fire. Last two games, I've talked to Mr. Mechamonico, who is a deputy sheriff, and he's working that as well. And I said, hey, 2 weeks in a row, how do I get this honor to work with you? And Vince, Chief Beal, and said, well, my guys aren't taking all of these, so I have to find coverage, and I'm looking at, the deputy sheriffs as far as helping. So that is on Chief Beal scheduling those type of things. The other thing has come up in the past as far as why don't they bring an ambulance down from Yorksville to cover the event? They have to man the house for emergency calls with the ambulance, so the ambulance stays at the station. They run their gator down with their life-saving equipment, and then if there is something where they have to call the squad, then they have to work out calling the squad and then also getting coverage to cover their house at the same time. So questions were, why are the deputy sheriffs there? It's because they're needing coverage and they're willing to come in and cover, but that is set through Chief Beal. And then the fire department with their ambulance service has just brought down the gator. It's easier for them to get through. That's their personal preference is doing so. So if there's any questions you guys have coming from the public or anything to that nature, you have that information. And if there's any other questions, I'd be more than willing to try to answer them.
And all of those services are paid for by the district.
It's paid through the athletic department fund through the district, yes.
Okay.
But we only play Yorksville, and then Yorksville does the subcontract with Tusk, right?
Yeah, we talked to Yorksville because of the stadium's there, and then
They subcontract.
they're the ones who work with whoever to get coverage.
Basically, they sign in, whoever works signs in, and then we pay them directly.
Yeah, and so if there's a Denison officers available, they need to reach out to Chief Beal at Yorksville to say that they're willing to work.
Any other questions around that topic? Anything else, Mr. Wrench?
I don't have anything right at the moment. I need to do a little work on the question that goes with handicap parking. So I'll put that in my next board update regarding handicap parking at the stadium, because we have one school lot and we have 12 spaces. 6 of them are handicap, 6 of them are regular. So we're more than exceeding the legal limit of what we have to have for handicap. And the street parking is through Yorksville, city of Yorksville.
First come, first served.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know if, for the parking, if the football boys, their cars could be parked over by the water park, or maybe in the East Park parking lot to free up some of those spots along the street.
Yeah, that's been brought up before as far as the Eastport parking lot. I was walking out of that end of the stadium with a dejected, fairless kid on Friday night. I don't want our kids walking the same pattern over to their cars where we're parking the fairless or the visitors' buses. So that wouldn't just be a good mix.
I don't know if they could go back down around the water park to free some of the
Yeah,
street parking right there.
yeah.
Outside
On
the field
11th
house?
Street. Yeah, like 11th Street.
Those are things that we can look at. I mean, it's a downfall of having a stadium in town.
Right.
I know New Philly with their stadium, they have their kids park right up to the gate primarily as well. And then other spectators park throughout the streets or the Tuscarora Park area.
Even there, they still have a handicap parking issue at Philly too, so.
Yeah. So I have asked Mayor Zuppel, and he was supposed to look at getting us 2 extra spots. So right now, there's currently 8 spots, and not including what's over by the water park. But I know we're more willing to have a drop-off at the tennis courts, go park, and then whoever can walk, come back. But I was told that they were looking at adding 2 extra spots, so that would give them 10 spots as well.
I got, back in the day back in the day, I'm 10 years out of high school. But, when I was in school, I know they would park in the field by Eastport. Is there a reason they don't do that anymore? Is it just because we can't find people to park the cars, or?
People coming and, making sure the cars get parked. But the other thing is that is a practice field. And when we did have that parking there, Mr. Henry can attest to that, because when you were practicing there, there were objects left on the ground that could hurt our players in practice.
Right.
And then in inclement weather, we had
Mud holes.
and everything.
Yeah.
So.
No, I was just curious. I just know we used to do that. I didn't know why we don't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's for mainly not practicing on that practice field for the safety of the players.
Gotcha.
And then we don't have anybody manning it as well.
Right.
So, if anybody wants to volunteer, Justin Jones would be more than happy to take the volunteers to come in, so.
I park them in my back driveway, so I need another lot to take care of.
All right. No, that was.
I wanted to add, I think I was approached by somebody that had made the complaint. I think what was deterrent, and maybe some education to the person that was wanting to park there, they seen cones up, and even though there was some handicap spots still available, they thought those were, that you couldn't use them. And I did try to reach out today, when I seen something on social media. I wanted to reach out to them. All they have to do is stop them, they'll move the cones so that the handicapped person could go into that parking. I think that was the confusion, because I looked when they made, the day they made the complaint to me, and I seen there was still some handicap left. But I think the cones are a deterrent, which we need them, or everybody would be parking in there. But I think it was a deterrent, thinking they couldn't get into the handicap parking. And Justin blocks it off so that we can get the officials in, and then we just need to have somebody watching if they do have a handicap and we still have availability. I think that was the confusion there on that one party.
That may very well be. I don't know.
And I wanted to reach out, but I just didn't have a chance today when I seen that. That if they come early enough, I know there's only a few, but it's a matter of timing. If you come early enough, even though the cones are up, if you let, I think Stacy's who kind of controls that,
Right.
if you let her know, show her your sticker, because she's made the comment to me when I'm dropping Jason off, do you want to move the cone? I said, no, I have Martha's handicap parking right across the street. So we let Jason off and then come in. So I wanted to reach out to them, but I just didn't get a chance this evening.
And the
But I
first
will
home
do it.
game, people were lined up hours before the game.
Right, because
Because everybody wanted to be there early to get their free T-shirt from the
Right.
Airsill Eagles.
Right,
So if they pulled in and took those spots for handicap, but
yeah.
we don't have any other parking other than we take a look at what available ground space we have and turn it into extra parking around that stadium.
It's an issue. I mean, we just went to Harrison Central and there was no handicap parking and we were on a hill. We couldn't even lower the ramp.
Yeah.
So we go to all the way events, so it's an ongoing issue no matter where you go. I mean, to have a big lot and have I'd rather see it green space than parking lot space.
Yeah.
But I will try to reach out to that family, and if you're going to too, but I wanted to reach out and say, the cones can be moved for the handicap parking.
Those non-handicap spots are for the officials.
Right.
After that, if the officials are all there, then if there's another handicap person, we can use it for that. But
Right.
nobody else is, from my knowledge, is parking in that spot.
No,
other than
I get there
officials
early and
handicap.
there's nobody parking in
Yeah.
those spots, other than handicapped people with stickers and then the official. But there is a few extra, sometimes the officials ride together, so they don't take up as many spaces.
And the officials aren't parking in handicap.
No.
Because I think that was some of the
I'd
confusion.
hope
too.
not.
Yeah, I think that was some of the
No,
confusion.
they park on
Oh,
this
okay.
side.
They're on
Yeah.
whatever side.
That's the side that's handicap, right, is.
That's the handicap. Any other discussion? Treasurer's report and recommendations, please. That's okay, you're good.
Paying attention though, that's a good.
PDF,
PDF, down at the bottom.
and it's the second tab.
Okay, so if you go to, so we're looking at August 2025, so we're 2 months into fiscal year 26 already. Total revenues are a little bit higher than budgeted. We're at 21.39% of the 17% for 2 months. That 29%, I put it in my update to you guys, because of the property taxes and the way I do the 12 months, everything's just divided out by 12 months, but you only receive taxes basically twice a year. So you're going to see us higher and then lower and then higher and then lower. So, but we are 1.26% lower than we were at this time last year. I did receive the bulk of the property taxes. I say waiting on homestead at that tax, or that check actually came in today. It was like $2,000, and then the rollback will come from the state. And then on expense side of it, we're at 14.67%. So that's lower than the 17%. You know, that has to do with basically the insurances that we don't pay in July because of the premium holiday that we take. So it will catch itself back up. We are a little bit higher than last year. We've got more capital outlays that we've done more in the front of the year this year than at the end. So that's kind of pushed that up. 76.6% now of overall expenditures go to salaries and benefits. Admin and teacher contracts and the new insurance premiums went into effect for August. All of the classified then start their new contracts in September. So total revenues for the fiscal year so far is 4.8 million with total expenses of 3.4. We do have a August surplus of almost 1.8 million, and which brings our fiscal year to date at 1.4 million. True days cash of 138 days. We had 113,000 at the end of August that seeking reimbursement for state and federal programs. And our overall, next slide, Bill. Our overall fund balance cash is almost 9.9 million right now. So on the agenda, I've got the approval of the financial reports for August, the payment of bills for August. We had a regular board meeting on August 11th and a special board meeting on the August 19th, or minutes to approve. Accept the donations from the Freeport Church and the Eagle Nest. The class of 2025 wants to donate and transfer the balance of $644.21 to the class of 2026. We have the permanent appropriations and estimated resources for this fiscal year. We accepted, or to accept the resignation of Tracy Napier, that was effective September 5th, last week, and to employ Lainey Dorland on a one-year limited contract that started today at step 2. I also approved the inter-department transfer of Lindy Lippincott. She has been training for the payroll position, and since she's going to have that extra experience on both sides, move her up to step 4 on that salary scale. And then we did have to finalize the clinic project. There was a change order that Beaver had sent through, and but that still keeps us within budget through the Appalachian Coalition grant.
I'll just echo, on that clinic, that was all grant funded.
Yes.
And ultimately, we didn't expend all of the grant. So we're not asking for
Right.
any more money from them, because we were be able to be under budget for that project.
And it opened today, right?
It opened, they had a soft opening today, and they were in there. They're still finding their ways about setting things up, but they are open.
Looks nice.
Great. So I need a motion and a second to approve the treasurer's items.
So moved.
Martha, Lois. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Grandison?
Yes.
Mrs. Host?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. Wolf?
Yes.
Thank you.
Superintendent recommendations?
All right, we have to amend the employment date for Elena Contini to reflect back to July 28, 2025. She's currently a custodian at the high school on the afternoon shift. Rescind a 2-year mentor, resident educator mentor for April Nisley. Approve the resident educator mentor assignment for year 1, April Nisley, and her mentee will be Dawn McCown. We have some district staff members attending meetings that would be after school for various things such as JEDC and DLTs. We had a resignation of Marky Tarkleton as a bus aide. That was effective the 26th of August. We have some 1-year limited contracts with a 90-day probationary period for Chandra McMillan as an educational aide, Krista Bauer as a bus aide, and then Brittany Smith as a 2.5-hour intermediate cook. All those are effective today. We have student teacher mentors as listed. We have April Nisley, Jennifer Leifster, and Ashley Miller paired with those students, teachers there. Esports, non-athletic supplementals for Travis Houghton and Jacob Baldwin. They'll be co-advisors for this coming school year. Middle school concession stand workers, which will be paid minimum wages through the middle school 018 account. That's the principal's account, Lindsey Jackson and Ashley Bircher. We have the substitute teacher services agreement for the class of certified substitutes. We have 2 overnight field trips with FFA and also the American Sign Language trip. Michelle Sproul is a volunteer. She has all her credentials to be able to volunteer as a chaperone for that FFA trip. We have numerous board policies to look at rescinding or acting on and updating or requiring as a new. The one we're rescinding is the habitual truancy intervention strategies. As I stated the last time, or maybe I didn't, I know I talked with the policy committee. Under House Bill 96, the new policy has to be in place by next year, and that has to be in conjunction with juvenile court system as well. So that was a change through House Bill 96. Want to highlight under the release time for religious instruction. House Bill 96 said that they're allowed to go 1 hour per week, but it's on instruction time. So that change, we were afforded the opportunity to add more time, but we chose not to. So we're sticking within the limits of House Bill 96. And so all the others were through policy. We have some classified substitutes to finish out the first section.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the superintendent's recommendations, and we need a second.
I'll second.
Saul. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Host?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Ms. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Grandison?
Yes.
And Mrs. Wolf?
Yes.
And Mr. Jones is recommending through the athletic department some volunteers for this school year. Gavin Milburn, Spencer Milburn for cross country, and Scott Leggett for junior high girls basketball. And then we have some spring supplementals. He hopes to, excuse me, have the assistant coaches for spring next month. But we have baseball, softball, track, and basketball or tennis. And we also have spring weightlifting, and then also junior high basketball as well. At this point, we're still needing to fill JV assistant coach position on the boys side. So right now it remains vacant.
Okay, I need a recommendation, or a motion.
So moved.
Martha, second.
I'll second it.
Michelle? Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Wolf?
Yes.
Mrs. Grandison?
Yes.
Mrs. Host?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Abstain.
At this time, I'll take a motion to adjourn, there being no further business for the Board of Education.
So moved.
Martha
Second. Sorry.
and Saul. 6:33.